Kaio's journey has come to a complete close, almost, potentially. It has, as she's been removed, but there's still questions and things that need to be answered throughout the story itself. So we have to kind of like wait because there might be something more there at some point. But for now, we're kind of turning the page and focusing a little bit more on the other two victims that we have to deal with. Protection coming for them. So Satoru's brain is a mess trying to figure out where to go from here. Know people scheduling and, where they're going to be at certain times and, patterns throughout that to maybe tear them from that path a little bit more, or even if they keep them on it, just be around in general so he has an idea of what's going on, or maybe find somebody who is lurking a little bit. We spend the last episode with decent amount of focus directly on conversations in regards to the teacher and the weird things with him. We highlight an insane amount of like these weird little things about him that seem overly suspicious to the point that they're like a little too suspicious, to the point that we pull it out from under them and are like, actually, this is just a little joke, or no, there's nothing to be worried about there. But then that's weird because it's like we should probably be suspicious still of him. So it's like a fun dynamic that we got going on. The typical, it can't be this obvious, so it can't be that thing. But then like maybe it can be that obvious, and it is. Like it's fun. Like with where we're going with that. And then the other girl from class that we've had some issues with in the past seems to get some focus and a weird shot towards a cliffhanger that we get left off on. And I don't know if that's, indicating she's involved in some sort of way here. She's going to be a shift of target, which would really throw us for a complete loop if something like that happens, or where we head from there. I have no idea. I'm interested though. We're in a good spot. Excited to see. A few episodes left. I'm gonna try and power through them. We're gonna get this. We're gonna get the ball rolling here. I've been making y'all wait too long, and I don't like that I'm doing that, so I'm sorry. But let's get this going. If you like it, all hit the like and subscribe. They do mean a lot to me. Feel free to stick around for our discussion. Leave in the comments with this order series. We're going with the 10th episode of Erased. From that day forward, we vow.
そして残ったものは胸の中にぽっかりと開いた穴だった。それはこの僕もだ。だけどその足りない何かを埋めていくのが人生なんだと僕は考える。
Try to be uplifting for a class of children who don't know how to process things and are crying. It's not an easy task, my brother. It's not an easy task. And if you're innocent in all of this, despite my suspicions, I applaud you. We need to talk. Recruit Kenya to... Oh, everybody.
ミコト小5年の藤沼悟。
どっかで会った？
中西彩さんだよね。
We're about to.
ピアノ上手なんだって。
まあまあ得意な方だよ。
What's it to you?
いや、そういうわけじゃ。ねえ、その本何読んでるの？
あ、これ？シェイクスピア。
リアを。
Oh yeah, let's chill. Let's chill now.
あ、なんか見覚えあると思ったら、いつも川の向こうの建物に忍び込んでる子たちだべ。
アジト、こっちから。
Oh, that's the hideout. Okay.
アジト。子供っぽい。
People know we go there? Hold on.
どうせヒーローごっことかでしょ?
It's ruined.
ヒーローバカにするな。
Yeah. You know how much he's going through right now to be a hero? People can't even be grateful. Hey, put her in her place. Yeah. What a guy. Aw. Give you a chance to learn. So, you want to tell us why you were following us?
昨日はしくじったな。でも一体どうやって近づけば。
Yo.
暇だから来てみたわ。
Ah, I see what type you are.
俺たちのアジトへようこそ。
Chris thrilled.
今日もあやちゃんのとこ？
まあな、後で一緒にアジトに行くわ。そんじゃ。
Good for you, Kazu.
一人ぼっちの時間をなくすってすごくいいこと。
Yeah, if only that's the only thing we were trying to do.
働きで帰ってもいつも一人だったからよくわかるんだ。
Hang out with us.
そうしてくれたし、かよちゃんやあやちゃんの時も誘ってくれて。 嬉しかった。あれ、カズは？
You lost your friend, sorry.
な
Ah.
んで？なんでって。あやちゃん、アジトの場所知ってるでしょ？
Yeah, why does she need him?
だけどさ。まあいいや。早く行こう。
Ah, loneliness. Somebody else we need to bring in.
急げ。慌てるなって。
It's gonna make us be nice to her? No? I don't gotta read where he's going with it.
中西彩、杉田博美、そして日名月佳代。
All
殺さ
secure.
れるはずだった3人はあいつのターゲットから外れているに違いない。だけど手がかりを失った今、あいつを見つけ出せるだろうか。
ほら、もっと女の子になった。すごいでしょ。サトル。
Focus changes. Where do you go from there?
これで終わるつもりか。
I wish it was that easy, brother.
まだ終わってたまるか。どいて。
Too much focus on her.
それじゃあ俺たちはアイスホッケーの試合見に行ってくるよ。浜田出るの？もちろん。すげえな。じゃあ頑張れって言っといて。
Create an opening for him to Satoru to be alone here and
最近柳原さんが一人なの知ってた？え、美里が？あの給食費のことがあってからみんなから浮いちゃってるみたい。そうか。月曜日にで。
usually I would say good because fuck her. This is not a series where you want to say that too.
ボス。
Yeah, I don't know how you could follow that. Ah, shit.
サトル。今度は美里が一人ぼっちなんだって。八代先生が浜田くんの応援に誘ったって言ってたから。そういえば先週も一人で試合見てたよ。ありがとう。俺たちも行こうか。いや、多分俺一人の方がいいな。様子見だし。そうか。探偵ごっこの続きなら明日ちゃんと報告しろよ。もちろん。
I'm glad everyone's on board. Although they don't know the fullest extents, but
毎日大げさだな。本当だよ。どうせ明日も会うのにさ。
いた。やっぱり一人だ。二人いっぺんにターゲットを失ったあいつにとってはおあつらい向きの標的。
yeah, isolated. Ah, shit. She on the move. Probably just crying in there or something, and you're
ちょっと一服な。どうした？もう試合始まる
odd timing there, buddy.
お前そこで何してるんだ？
ちょっと美里に用があって。
美里？
美里外に出てったの？
うん。まだ試合前だぞ。え？
In a box?
さんちの車？
先生、急いで確かめたいことがあるんだ。協力して。
ん？
Excuse me? Yeah, because that's not suspicious.
僕らは探偵ごっこって呼んでるけど、
Just to be
誘
safe.
拐犯がいるっていう設定で、一人ぼっちの女の子に声をかけてね。
Why did he just agree? I mean, I guess because it's a crime, but it's like
あれ？
ああ、このところ調子悪くってな。よっ。
who else have you been having in the passenger seat recently? So you said you don't have luck with women. You and the boys?
いや、ヒロミに聞くまで気づかなかった。
それでもお前の精神と行動力には敬意すら感じる。
Yeah, not something that a lot of people would even try and make an effort at.
今回は声をかけづらいことを言い訳にして、結果的に美里をおとりみたいにしちゃった。
おとりか。
心の中に開いている穴を埋めたいって思ったんだ。人のも自分のも。
いけねえ。これはヤシロの受け売りだった。気が合うな、サトル。それは僕の人生哲学そのものだ。
More like than you thought.
担当したら卒業式の日にその話をするくらいだ。善行も悪行も本質は同じ。人が自らの欠陥を補うための行いに過ぎない。僕も最近ある人に近づくためにあらゆる手段を講じたよ。時にはストレートに、時には変化球、いわゆる反則技も使ってみた。楽しかったな。
恋人？
No way.
恋愛に似てるかもな。
This is so uncomfortable.
埋めるという点では同じか。
あ、飴取ろうか。
ありが
Gone.
とう、サトル。でも飴は入ってないんだ。
Dark tunnel.
だって
Anxious, the
これ
tapping.
僕の車じゃないんだ。
You wanna add a little bit more to that?
一体。
一番幸せな瞬間ってさ、どんどん更新されていくものだと思わない？
Sure.
僕はね、今日それが更新されたよ。心の中の足
Sure.
りない何かを埋められた時こそが最高の瞬間だ。探し物を見つけた時、そしてそれを手に入れた時、困難であればあるほど乗り切った時の幸せの度合いは大きいものさ。
I get it, but like...
さっき誘拐犯がいる設定って言ったけど、君は誘拐犯がいると確信して行動している。そのことを受け入れるのには抵抗があった。信じられなかった。
Oh, brother.
信じたくなかったんだ。僕の思考を先読みするような存在を。心配するな。あの車に美里は乗ってないよ。
Just a method to get you.
白鳥純の親父さんだけさ。君を見たあの日まで全く気がつかなかったよ。
You know exactly where I'm going with this.
送った日は計画を実行に移す日だったんだ。なのに笑っちゃうよな。僕の獲物を横取りしようとする君の相談に
Yeah, right.
答えていたんだから。
As unsuspicious as I could be.
されたのはそれが2度目だ。
Uh,
偶然じゃないかもという疑念が湧いた。そこで仲間から浮いていた美里にホッケーの観戦を進めて、その情報をヒロミに伝えてみた。
Play in the traps.
君が来れば疑念は確信に変わる。君が敵だとね。美里に下剤の入ったドリンクを飲ませ。
Right, which she left behind, went to the bathroom, and then look who was...
嘘だ。すべてのピースが計画通りうまくはまったよ。これこそ僕本来の姿だ。僕が車を選ぶ基準はちょっと人と違うんだ。同じ車種、色の車が近場に複数ある。
Yep.
ダミーとしてすぐ使えること。ま、今回初めて役に立ったんだけどね。バカだな、俺。
Didn't even consider it, did you? Someone who's so on his game about everything.
沢田さんの容疑者リストにも八代学の名前はあった。ただ同時にお袋の名前もあったことで、リストの持つ意味が俺の中で軽くなっていた。俺は八代を信頼するあまりに疑惑の対象から排除しようとしていた。今目の前にいる八代だ。それ外れないよ。
Explains the seatbelt.
ゲームオーバーだよ。君も僕も。
They didn't follow. Oh, I was holding out hope. They didn't follow.
サトル、未だに信じられない。この僕の
Fuck.
先回りして潰したんだ。君はまるで未来でも見てきたかのようだ。
Maybe a little.
僕も寝覚めが悪くならないよう一応言っておくな。
Familiar.
ことは計画を邪魔した君に対する復讐なんかじゃないんだ。欲望が満たされなかったことの代償行為だと思ってほしい。
お前もゲームオーバーだったんじゃなかったのかよ。
君が手にするのはこの町の平和だ。君が望んだものそのものだろう。僕が手にするのは僕の手による僕のためだけにある死だ。
ヤシロ
Not even gonna be me.
ざけんな。ヤシロ、俺はお前の未来を知ってるぞ。
やばい。冷て。
It's not his car. They can't trace it back to you.
やばい。
He got out.
なにサトル。
見上げるとよく目があったな。
サトル。
かよ。アイリ。
Cool visual. It stops. Wow. Satoru done fucked around too much and was like, I'm gonna save everybody, but forgot about himself at the end of the day. And look where you are now, drowning in the middle of a lake, of a frozen lake at that. You are something else, my friend. You are something else. I don't know where we go in regards to him, right? We leave it off as if he's gonna die and that all of these, timelines and things that we're kind of following down are all fractured and don't have that next line to them. But at the same time, he is the main character. Him dying here, I don't think triggers a response for you to go to the future. And maybe my general understanding of how these sort of things in the revival and everything are kind of working, but that seems a little crazy. It seems a little crazy that that's what we would do instead. But we also showed everybody else, so who the hell would be there? The only character we didn't show is Yuki. So I guess he could be Larkin. Maybe he was suspicious of this too, but I find that kind of hard to believe. So I don't know. I have no clue where we go or what ends up happening here in regards to if we're going to stay alive and how the next few episodes are going to shake out for us to eventually get a better tomorrow, as well as get the teacher captured and do whatever else needs to be done. But I guess we'll cross that road when it comes. The other main thing is overall reveal in regards to the teacher coming out this episode. The expected outcome, I think, from early in the series all the way through onto this point. And it leads us to a fun reveal, I would say, for the most part. I like the idea of us getting in the car and then us being able to change the lights, trap us almost within a tunnel, fully utilize the build of the music and alter exactly where we're headed in terms of what we're talking about and make him reveal what's going on. I think it was executed really nice, actually, and I enjoyed it. It's not a really great mystery in that sense, but at the same time, is that what we're going for, right? I think we need to look at it from that lens at the same time. Sometimes mysteries aren't necessarily intended to be the mystery itself. That's the big picture of what we're doing. It's supposed to be something in the background, and while you can write, and I argue you should likely write for your mystery to be really excellent, as well as all the reasonings and the other things that you kind of need to behind it, it's not necessary always. And I think in this situation, just because it was obvious who it was, doesn't make it any less impactful when the moment comes. If you execute when the reveal and how the reveal is done and the reasonings for, or not even just the reasonings, but the general build up to it in regards to the actions taken by each of the characters who are involved for the reveal to occur, then followed by whatever hopefully we get, a little bit in this episode, and hopefully we understand and get more as the episodes continue in regards to general motives and reasonings and growth on the teacher's end for forming around him becoming the type of person that he is and his the things that he does in the future, even so, and his target directly for those who have been becoming close, especially going after Satoru and his mother and stuff in the future timeline, which feels entirely disconnected almost at the same time from like what I would choose as his general belief for where he is now, right? The understanding I get after a few moments throughout this is his reasoning is simply just to satisfy this sort of like internal craving of topping like the most, as he said, the best moment of his life. But I think what it's more so meant to be is just supposed to be the moment of the most like kind of rush or thrill that you get throughout your life, which is where he's getting now. Like the general feeling of like getting away with a crime or trying to do something along those sort of lines is next level adrenaline you're going to be able to achieve. And I think that's where he's trying to go for. He's trying to chase that high consistently, which is what we all do realistically throughout life. His just takes more of a negative turn for where he seems to be going. There's got to be more that hopefully they get into outside of he just has this general craving to reach that, like why he turned in that direction as opposed to like most people are just trying to achieve like normal accomplishments that fall in line and fit within the ways of the world and stuff. So I think we got to touch on that a little bit more, but it follows and tracks with his character. It's extremely nice too in regards to like, this is the candy, I'm using it to satisfy the cravings and the things that I had from smoking that ended up altering and becoming this, and while utilizing it as some sort of disguise almost for where we're headed with it, I think it still works out to be a decently nice enough reasoning. And I would love to learn a little bit more about him, but my general disconnect, like I said, comes from his future line of like, I'm going to go after Satoru's mother, because the connection here can be made. I'm just trying to satisfy it. And the easy targets, or the targets that I can reach out to directly, come from those that I'm simply around often. And taking that from them. But when we're around in the future, he doesn't necessarily have a connection in terms of like what his profession or any of that stuff is with Satoru's mother, as well as none of the things from what we understand in the past that Satoru did should have left a negative reaction or a impact almost on him years and years and years later, that he then wants to go after and target her instead, unless it simply just comes from he's the one involved with the general kidnapping that's happening in the future, and he's still consistently just doing the same thing, and he recognized the fact that she was looking at him, and he figured, I just have to get rid of her. I mean, I guess it could just be something as simple as that, and that's where his general targeting of her comes from. But I don't know, interested at least, and I don't necessarily dislike it. I think that it's done well enough and executed in a way that gets me intrigued for a little bit more and knowing some stuff, as well as tracking itself well enough to be like, these are all the steps that he's kind of taken as he lays that out for us, and how he noticed the steps from Satoru to the point that he is trying to counter them and do them in his own way, even to the point that he gave up on going after specific targets because he figured that it would be more intriguing this way, to kind of like just go along with him and then trace it like in a different way. I think it was cool. I think my biggest complaint up to this point is just the not Satoru's lack of like so focused and so on top of every little thing that is occurring, to the point that he just easily dismissed the fact that his teacher could have been one of the targets. And it's not simply what he brings up of, yeah, that was the guy who was on the list, but I could dismiss it because these other people were, and I know that they did it, right? I don't agree with that, because at the same time, you also saw this guy in the future. And I'm sorry to break the news to you, but a teacher at his age doesn't look that different like 15 years later. He just doesn't, unless he went through some heavy shit, right? Unless some crazy things went down and he had some reconstructive surgery, or he had some medical things kind of go on and he looks entirely different. I would get it if it was like, this was one of the people that you went to school with when you were younger, and then 20 years later you're meeting up with this guy and he doesn't look that way. I would get it. That's not the case here. That's just not. And it's also not somebody that you passed by or met one or two times. It's somebody that you met every single day for a year. You got to remember that person's face when you see them, I feel like. And maybe that's not a good reason. Maybe I'm a little off on that, because if I think back to certain teachers that I have, there's no way I think that I could fully remember every single one of them. Sure. Especially those that you have like in elementary and like the younger years. Sure. But if I see the name and I recognize the name fully, which he did on the list, I think it would spark something in me to recall who that person was or what that person looked like, especially going back in the past and being like, this person was on the list. And then I also know this person because now I'm seeing them every day here. And I still have memories of the things that happen at some point in the future. I think I would remember or be able to put the pieces together a little bit, that I've seen this person who looks a little similar. So I think there's something off there, whether it's intentional in the way that it's written and will be explained, or whether it's just a oversight and kind of just a little unfortunate way of the author themselves overlooking how not, I guess, lined up that really should be. We'll end up seeing. It might just be an overlook on their end. But I guess we'll progress a little bit further. But I think that overall, the intensity of what they built up, the general tension that was there, the alteration in the sequence to then lead us to a fun little cliffhanger that we get of being like, where the fuck do we go? Is he dead? Is he alive? What's kind of going on here? We're all executed really nice, and leaves me in a spot that I'm excited to see where we're headed with this. The little speech at the beginning is you're trying to cheer up everybody who just lost all these people around them, and their class is crazy, and it takes a lot and an absolute sick man knowing that you're the one who did it and put the frowns on all their faces in front of you to then deliver that speech is fucking insane to me. But all right, you do you, dude. And then we kind of montage through the beginning. It's a little underdeveloped in a way, especially for where we get the build up, but I guess it's not as big a deal, simply because Kaio was like the main one that we were kind of dealing with, so we were focused on that, so we can skip through this. I wish the Hiromi stuff was a little longer, because being a background character for so long and involved directly within the friend group, I think should have been touched on and stretched a little bit, but I don't necessarily have too big of an issue. We go through like the Kazu stuff and him being growing his relationship and everything, I think is fun, as well as setting up another target, somebody who gets isolated directly from the group too. I think all of it works itself out to be pretty nice. And then even like the little moments when we see her get up and we see her go away, you get to see that the cup was left behind, then she leaves that, and then he's consistently just staking out here and watching. And then it's like something doesn't add up, right? Like, oh, I saw her leave, by the way. And then it's like, there's only one exit. So how? But immediately, of course, you're so on edge. You're just going to buy and believe any and everything that you see. I think the little buildups here too are good. I didn't remember what the car looked like. So if they did show it like in the previous episodes and stuff with him driving, I guess this would make sense. But he explores it too, similar to his speech at the beginning, right? Trying to consistently go through life and fill those empty holes and those things that fall in line directly with you, which would make sense, as that's what he is essentially trying to do here. But I think it all works itself out. Super cool. I love a few of the different shots we get. The shatter here I think is super sick, and then reference towards like puzzle pieces and everything kind of just fitting perfectly, I think is cool. Driving him to the lake. The big concern that I think I'm gonna have, I don't really have too much to touch on in regards to the lines or anything here, I think, is the yelling at him before he goes up. I know what lies in your future, and that could be something that directly can intrigue somebody who feels that he has so many gaps in his life and so many holes that he's trying to fill. Of like, this person says that they know, and maybe if they express that to me or they tell me, then I can alter those sort of things, or it's a little bit more of a challenge for me to kind of get around and go into. And maybe he's curious enough about that they utilize it as a way that he wants to go back and save him, to be able to like lead him more into the future or learn a little bit more about these things. I just don't know if I necessarily like that idea that the killer's the one who comes back and gets him, because of course that's always going to result in the killer probably getting caught by the end of it. Like, that just doesn't make too much sense to me. So I feel like there's got to be a whole other reasoning to it that we explore. I like the flashes of all the friends and the relationships and stuff that he built up here, as well as us going through all of these and them all just kind of getting severed, which is really sick. Super fun episode that answers a little bit in regards to what we've been building up for 10 or so now. I think it was done pretty well with my few little feelings towards it. But I'm interested to see if any of that gets touched on a bit more or changed up a little bit as we progress into the final 2 episodes. Exactly as well what happens to Satoru and if he's able to come back here. If we flash to the future, plenty of questions still on the table. We'll wait it out and see. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you liked it, hit the like and subscribe. Not to me, feel free to check the channel in the comments of the series. I'll be back very soon for the 11th episode. I'm actually just going to go watch that right now. I hope you guys have a great one. Peace.